Before the sun rises, before the world awakens, before the noise begins, there is a silence. In that silence lies your moment. Not just a pause in the world's rhythm, but a sacred space where destiny is written. The question is not whether you were born with greatness. The question is, will you command your day or be conquered by it? Every high achiever you've ever admired, from Edison sketching inventions by candlelight, to Lincoln scribbling speeches on scraps of paper, to Kobe in the gym at 4 a.m., they all understood one truth. The day does not belong to the strongest, the fastest, or the most gifted. It belongs to the most prepared. The ones who craft their mornings like architects of excellence, the ones who turn ritual into power, the ones who refuse to leave the day to chance. Success is not a matter of luck. It is a matter of ritualized intent, habits so precise, so deliberate, that they become weapons against mediocrity. Look around you. Most people wake up with dread on their lips and distraction in their hands. They reach for their phones before they reach for their purpose. They react before they create, and in doing so they give away the throne of their life one snooze button at a time. But not you, because you've come to understand something most will never grasp. If you don't program your day will program you. And if you live every day by default, you'll die with your potential still inside you. You must become ruthless with your morning, vigilant with your thoughts, relentless with your standards, not out of arrogance, but out of reverence for the life you were born to build. There is no secret to high achievement. There is no magic in the air. There is only discipline repeated daily until it becomes your DNA. Andrew Carnegie didn't wait for inspiration to strike. He built rituals into the steel of his mind. Walt Disney didn't draw Mickey Mouse by accident. He followed a morning process so creative it became contagious. Oprah didn't stumble into power. She mastered herself before she mastered the world. It starts with a decision to no longer be enslaved by your feelings, but to rise with purpose, whether it's easy or not. Because excellence doesn't ask if you feel like it. Excellence demands that you show up cold, tired, bruised, unsure, and deliver anyway. What time do you wake up? That's not just a productivity hack. It's a declaration of war on your excuses. It's proof that you are not waiting for permission. You are taking ownership of your life, minute by minute. Don't let the world rush into your consciousness before you. Don't let someone else's chaos steal your clarity. The first hour of your day is the command center of your life. Guard it like your future depends on it, because it does. When your eyes open, don't scroll, don't check, don't compare, don't consume. Instead, breathe. Feel the breath enter your lungs like fuel. That's life, yours. Feel the silence. That's not emptiness, that's infinite potential. Ask yourself the questions that carve out greatness. Who am I becoming? What must I do today to move 1 inch closer to the man or woman I admire? What will I not tolerate anymore? This is not about being busy. This is about being deliberate. The high achievers of this world don't work harder because they have more energy. They have more energy because they know exactly why they are working. Purpose is the ultimate pre-workout. Set your intention. Visualize your outcomes. Feel the day bending to your will, not because of luck, but because you dared to lead. And then move your body. Not for vanity, for victory, for vibrancy, for discipline. Sweat is not just fat crying, it's weakness leaving your spirit. Every drop is a message to the world. I will not live asleep. Read something that makes you dangerous. Feed your mind before the world feeds it poison. If you don't fill it with clarity, the day will fill it with chaos. Journal if you must, not as therapy, but as strategy. The pen is your sword. Your thoughts are your army. And the page is your battlefield. Slay the noise before it slays you. Now choose your focus. High achievers don't chase 100 things. They dominate a few. They are not seduced by the illusion of multitasking. They understand the compounding power of clarity. They wake up and know their one thing, and they do it with monk-like obsession. Henry Ford didn't become a titan of industry by scattering his attention like confetti. He became a force by asking a single question, over and over. How do I make this simpler? Simplicity is the cousin of mastery. The more focused your ritual, the more unstoppable your momentum. You want to dominate your day? Start by dominating your decision. Eliminate what doesn't matter so what does can roar. Structure breeds freedom. Boundaries create expansion. And discipline is the soil where freedom grows. Don't aim to survive the day. Aim to bend it, shape it, conquer it. This is not about hustle culture. This is about alignment. When your rituals reflect your mission, your life becomes a magnet for miracles. Drink water like it's sacred. Eat like your brain is a temple. Speak like every word is a brick in your future. Move like you were designed for greatness and when doubt creeps in, and it will, return to your rituals. Because rituals are anchors. When the sea of life storms, your rituals are your rope back to center. You think high achievers don't get scared? Of course they do. But they don't wait to feel fearless. They just keep showing up because their habits are stronger than their hesitation. You build a life of greatness the same way you build a house, one brick at a time, one sunrise at a time, one decision at a time. This is your foundation. This is where transformation begins, in the unseen, unsexy, early morning moments no one else sees, but in time, they will, because when your rituals are right, your results become inevitable. You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your rituals. You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your rituals. And that fall can be your ruin or your rebirth. The difference lies in how you handle the small things, the seemingly insignificant choices no one claps for. Waking up at the time you said you, finishing the task you promised yourself, even when your body begs for comfort, saying no to distractions that whisper sweet poison in your ear. You see, success is not loud. It doesn't scream in your face. It doesn't arrive with fireworks and applause. No, it arrives quietly, in the echoes of your consistency. It builds layer by invisible layer in the discipline nobody else sees. That's what makes high achievers different. They don't need the world to watch them to do what must be done. They are driven by an inner oath, a personal covenant that says, I will not betray the version of me I know I'm capable of becoming. And when others sleep, they're awake. Not because they're superhuman, but because they've trained their mind to obey vision over comfort. Clarity is the beginning of domination, and high achievers begin their day with crystal clarity. They don't drift into the hours ahead, they drive. They don't stumble from task to task, letting the day dictate their energy. They act with surgical precision because they've already seen the outcome in their mind. Walt Disney once said, if you can dream it, you can do it. But he didn't stop there. He planned it. He mapped it, he mapped it, he lived it before it existed. He woke up each morning with the fire of imagination paired with the iron of execution. Dreams without structure are hallucinations, and you were not born to hallucinate, you were born to create. So ask yourself, what do I want this day to stand for? What part of my legacy will be built in these next 24 hours? Because you're not just living through a Tuesday or a Thursday, you are writing the future stroke by stroke through action. And let's speak about intentionality, the oxygen of elite living. When you sit down to work, don't just get things done. Aim to do them with excellence. Let your touch carry intention. Let your work bear your signature, not just in result, but in presence. The average person gets through the day. The high achiever imprints it with meaning. Do you think Da Vinci rushed through painting the Mona Lisa? Do you think Beethoven threw notes onto a page like spaghetti on a wall? No. Every detail mattered. Every choice had weight. Every moment had direction. That's what ritual gives you, direction. Not just speed, because speed without aim is wasted energy. But speed with precision, that's how you become unstoppable. The way you begin your day is how you teach the world to treat your time. If you begin in chaos, chaos will expand to fill every corner. But if you begin in clarity, then clarity becomes your shield. And yes, life will throw its punches. It will test your rituals with distractions, emergencies, unexpected detours, but that's the point. Rituals aren't about perfection. They're about resilience. They're not there to make you robotic. They're there to make you unshakable. When Steve Jobs wore the same outfit every day, it wasn't because he lacked style. It was because he refused to waste a single ounce of focus on decisions that didn't build his empire. That's the level of intentionality we're talking about. So where in your life are you leaking energy? Is it the 5-minute scrolling that turns into 50? Is it the unspoken yes to things that don't align with your vision? Is it the stories you tell yourself about why you can't, when all you've ever needed was to decide? You must become the guardian of your time. Ruthless, protective, fierce, because your time is not just ours, it is your life in pieces. Spend it on what matters or lose it forever. Now let's talk about execution, because high achievers aren't just dreamers, they are doers. And they understand this sacred law. What you don't act on, you betray. Ideas without action become regret, and regret is a prison with no walls, just the echo of what if. The rituals of high achievers are built not on inspiration, but on commitment. That means they don't wait until they feel like it. They move even when doubt screams. They act even when the path is foggy, because they trust the process more than their emotions. Emotions are temporary, but rituals are immortal. When Thomas Edison failed thousands of times to create the light bulb, he didn't see failure. He saw feedback, because his ritual was experimentation. His ritual was consistency. His ritual was belief, not in the outcome, but in his ability to figure it out. You must develop that same emotional durability. You must be willing to outlast your fear, outwork your doubt, and outperform your past self every single day, because domination is not about dominating others. It's about dominating your lower nature, the part of you that wants to delay, procrastinate, give up, blend in. That part of you doesn't die. It waits. It lurks. But rituals starve it. Discipline silences it. Purpose replaces it. You want to dominate your day? Then dominate the first thought that tells you to shrink. Dominate the second-guessing voice. Dominate the temptation to be average. Your morning routine is not just a checklist. It is a ceremony, a declaration, a preparation for battle, and the battlefield is your own mind. So when you rise like a warrior, breathe like a leader, think like a builder, move like a storm. Let your presence be intentional. Let your words be sharp. Let your actions echo beyond the day. Because this day is your masterpiece. And the rituals, they are the brush in your hand. High achievers don't ask, what do I feel like doing today? They ask, what must I do today to move the needle on my destiny? That single shift from emotion to mission is what separates the driven from the drifting. Because drifting is easy. You don't need discipline to float through your day, chasing dopamine, following the path of least resistance. But to dominate the day, to make time serve your purpose rather than sabotage it, that requires a ritualized commitment, so strong it becomes part of your DNA. This is not about perfection. This is about alignment. Alignment with your values. Alignment with your future self. Alignment with the highest version of who you were born to be. And to stay in alignment, you must master your environment. Because your environment is not neutral. It is either sharpening you or softening you. It's either feeding your fire or suffocating it. Look around. Every sound, every image, every person, every input, it all matters. You cannot rise with rituals and still surround yourself with chaos and expect clarity. Carnegie surrounded himself with titans. Edison isolated himself to think. Ford built teams of obsessive thinkers who believed in progress above all. Your environment must reflect your intention. If it doesn't, your rituals will slowly erode under the weight of contradiction. Build your world like a temple, one designed not for comfort, but for greatness. And when distractions knock at your door, let your rituals be the gatekeeper. Now, let's speak about the invisible ritual, the ritual of thought. What do you feed your mind before the world begins to speak? Because if you don't give your mind direction first thing in the morning, it will be hijacked by the noise of the world. Notifications, fears, comparison, opinions, noise. The mind is fertile soil. Plant garbage. Get weeds. Plant greatness. Get legacy. So speak life into your mind before the world can whisper doubt. Write down your intentions. Review your vision. Speak your affirmations aloud. Read the words of those who walked before you, the Lincolns, the Churchills, the Hills, the Mandelas. Fill your mind with the language of kings, warriors, builders, leaders. That's not motivation. That's nutrition for the soul. Your thoughts are the blueprint. Your actions are the bricks. But your rituals, they are the hands that place every single... Let's be clear. Domination isn't about hustling harder. It's about operating smarter, with precision, with grace, with unshakable standards. Most people don't fail from a lack of desire. They fail from a lack of structure. They want transformation, but they live in reaction. They want discipline, but they worship convenience. They want mastery, but they dance with mediocrity. They want growth, but avoid friction. And growth without friction is a fantasy. You must embrace the edge. The edge is where rituals become muscle, where discomfort becomes momentum, where the line between who you are and who you're becoming gets blurred by effort. Do you want to know why most people never change? because they're loyal to their past more than their potential. But not you. You felt the pull, that fire deep in your gut that says you were made for more, and that fire, it needs fuel. That fuel is ritual, not just in the morning, but across your day. The ritual of focus, working in sprints of pure intention while others multitask their brilliance into dust. The ritual of movement, using your body to awaken your spirit, knowing your physiology, is the gateway to your psychology. The ritual of review, not just what you did, but how you did it. Did you show up fully? Did you give your gift the reverence it deserved? And the ritual of reset, understanding that domination isn't about grinding until you break, but building with rhythm, expansion and recovery. Push and pause, burn and breathe, because even the sun rests, but it never forgets to rise. So ask yourself now, what rituals must become non-negotiable in your life? Not trendy habits, not feel-good hacks, but core pillars, the disciplines you will die before breaking. Will you rise before the sun touches the sky? Will you guard the gates of your mind like a king protects his kingdom? Will you move your body, master your thoughts, dominate your schedule? Will you show up not as who you've been, but as who you're becoming? Because domination is not a finish line. It is a daily practice. It's not something you achieve. It's something you become. And becoming requires repetition. Repetition becomes ritual. Ritual becomes identity. And when your identity becomes one of mastery, then everything changes. You stop chasing success. You start embodying it. You stop watching the clock. You own the hours. You stop hoping for change. You command it, not with arrogance but with intention, with presence, with a relentless commitment to never living one more day beneath your potential. This is not hype. This is not inspiration. This is your call to arms, because your life is not waiting for permission. It is waiting for a decision. And once you decide, truly decide to dominate your day, you won't need motivation. You'll have momentum, and momentum, once built through ritual, becomes the most unstoppable force on earth. And when momentum becomes your companion, mediocrity becomes impossible. You'll walk differently, speak differently, not out of ego, but out of alignment. Because when you live by ritual, you don't try to be excellent. You are excellent by design. You don't chase greatness. You live it, you breathe it. You become the standard others look to. Understand this, the world does not reward wishers. It rewards workers of intention, builders of structure, guardians of vision. It rewards those who live each day, not as a burden but as a battlefield, a place to conquer laziness, to outlast fear, to defeat doubt, minute by minute with action. Walt Disney once said, "The way to get started is to quit talking and begin doing." He didn't wait for perfect conditions. He built them. He didn't dream with his eyes closed. He dreamed with his hands. That's what rituals do. They turn invisible ambition into visible architecture. They take the raw materials of thought and shape them into legacy. But here's the truth nobody tells you. Ritual is not sexy. It's not glamorous. It's the same small choices made without applause, repeated until the universe has no choice but to respond. Because the universe bows to consistency, not to potential, not to passion, but to the person who shows up every single day, rain or shine, and does the work. The work of focus, the work of silence, the work of saying no 1,000 times so you can say yes to your future one. This is what high achievers know, that rituals are the rope that pull you up the mountain when your motivation slips. They are the fire you light every morning to burn through hesitation. They are the quiet handshake you make with your higher self, saying, "I won't betray you today." So what do you want? Not someday, not one day. Today. What do you want to build before the sun sets? Who do you want to become before the clock strikes midnight? That question isn't for tomorrow. It's not for New Year's Day or next Monday or your birthday. It's for now. Because high achievers don't wait for motivation. They act from mission. And when your life becomes mission-driven, your rituals become sacred. You wake up not with dread, but with direction. You walk into the world not with noise, but with knowing. You no longer look to the clock for guidance. You look within, to the inner metronome of your convictions, your values, your code. A code written not in ink, but in action. This is your edge. Not intelligence, not talent, but the ability to ritualize your values, to make them real, to embody your purpose before the world understands it, to show up early, stay late, go deep, even when no one is watching, especially when no one is watching, because domination doesn't happen in crowds. It is built in solitude, in the dark hours, in the uncelebrated grind. Thomas Edison conducted over 10,000 failed experiments before the light bulb. That's 10,000 private rituals, the disciplined repetition of trial and error before the world saw one moment of glory. You want your light to shine? Build it in the dark. You want your name to echo? Say it to yourself 1,000 times in silence, while doing the work no one else will. You are not average. You are not random. You are not here to scroll, consume, and survive. You are here to design your day, to command your time, to shape your destiny with discipline, not dream. So let this be the line in the sand. The day you stopped waiting, the day you stopped drifting, the day you stopped negotiating with mediocrity, and instead, you declared war on distraction. You fortified your mind. You built your day like a fortress, one ritual at a time, one choice at a time, one sacred hour at a time. Because when you win the hour, you win the morning. When you win the morning, you win the day. And when you win enough days with discipline and purpose, you win your life. So rise. Rise with urgency. Rise with clarity. Rise with the sacred knowledge that your future is not waiting. It is watching. And it is asking, will you dominate this day or be dominated by it? The choice is yours. And your rituals will answer it for you every single day.